A lot of people are asking, why did I move from Corcoran and what happened? Well, nothing happened. Somebody changed a brokerage since, they either see more opportunities or they see that they learned enough in that place. And that's, I think was the issue with me. Um, but I'd like to point, a few things because I just made a presentation for Highline Residential, the brokerage I'm at right now. And I'd like to point a few things since I think our industry, it's not easy. It's one of a kind. It's like taking water out of rocks, it's like a really tough thing to execute, I would say. So I came to clarify a few things, for all the realtors that come asking and, requesting advice and saying what's the difference. Um, so a lot of things, are very different when you decide for a big brokerage, a brokerage centric, you know, per se brand, I would say, or agent centric brokerage, which especially after I had my coaching session, I had a great coach that really changed, how I think about the business, not only the opportunities that I can create myself, because guess what? You need to focus on things that you and only you can control because nobody else, is gonna do your job for you. So why would you keep worrying or, wasting your time with things that you cannot control, first and foremost, right? And secondly, how do you invest your time doing the only thing you need to do? It's like do the obvious thing, and very, very important to remember that great is the enemy of good. So if you do only things that are, let's say, good or average, you would never achieve greatness because whoever wants greatness need to do whatever it takes. It's very, very different than somebody that accept like a good, yes, I am Christian too. Somebody asked there. So the thing is about real estate in Manhattan, you cannot sleep, you cannot waste your time. You need to time every action, everything you do. Because if you don't do that, guess what? Everybody has the same 24 hours, but how do you spend it? How do you spend them? Very, very important. And that is what makes a huge difference, who is a great agent? I mean, who can be considered a great agent and who cannot be considered a great agent? Of course, results, facts, right? Evidence. But not only that, because in this business, you don't see results right away. You need to plant seeds like forever until they finally appear. So, for that to happen, you need to have a great system in line. And what I mean by that is do not waste your time thinking. You cannot think much. You just need a step by step system that you need to do no matter what, and you cannot stop in between. So, a good dialer, very, very important. So, you can, like dial people nonstop unless you already develop that discipline. Then you're great to go. Second thing, you need a great CRM, not a brokerage CRM. Why? Because you need to control the narrative. You need to control what is, what your client is receiving from you and from you only. Why? Let's say you change your brokerage, right? How many times big realtors they change their brokerage? Many times. Then if you do switch from one another, then all the time you need to be emailing that client a new email, a new thing, unless you have your own CRM. Very, very important too. So system, they matter. Also, you need to have like a step by step, meaning if you have a weekly newsletter, important. How do you get in touch with your clients? How do you approach them? Which brand are you really improving? Are you improving the brokerage brand or are you creating your own? Are you looking to scale your team, or you don't really care? You want to keep small, or you want to play big? So all those little things, they do matter a lot, and it's in the beginning that you set that thermometer. Is in the beginning that you really dictate where you want to go to. A coach really helps. However, not a lot of people, they are investing in that big detail. That is a big step, and that is the one that really changed my mentality, I would say. Because to be honest, the brokerage you decide to go first is a big thing. It can break you, or it can teach you a lot. You can either be starving, or you can, do your moves and learn something, take some advantage out of it, and then, because we never lose if you think better. You either win or you learn. So the very, very important also, to see how you are supported, not only by, oh, I have a great environment, oh, the building is nice. I'm not saying that is not important. Of course there is. We all look in that, right? We check, like, oh, do they have a great coffee space? Oh, can I host, a meeting here? Can I include my sphere of influence? Amazing. However, that is not a game changer, because the real thing, the real important thing, is only if you have clients to work with. And guess what? You need to have leads. You need to be fed leads, or you need to have how, to make money. Because as independent contractor, guess what? You don't, you just, you're on a commission basis. So if you do not make money, how can you pay your bills? Can you say to your landlord, or to your bill, saying, hi, I'm so sorry, money this month, I didn't make a lot of deals, so I don't have how to pay? Can you do that? Do you have that magic? Do you make that happen? I don't know. Not in my book, not in my words. So from my understanding, what people, they do not check is, really, what this brokerage is saying, will they really do? So call some people that are in that brokerage and ask about support, about how they're treated, if, how much money do they make, what is the real support. And also, for instance, if you go to a team, right, if you decide to go to a team as a realtor, that is huge, because then you will learn a lot, because then you don't have to figure it out yourself. Because figuring out yourself is where you get lost, because then you need to check every little thing, if you are doing right or wrong. And then until you search to check, then you don't have a process. Then, unless you can pay a mentor, a coach person, fine. But if you cannot, then you waste a lot of time, and then you stop, like analysis paralysis, type of thing. That won't help you. And then if you start in a team, most big brokerages, your cut will not be, will not be great. Why? Because it's like you're paying to learn, which is amazing too. And that is even better, because if you decide to learn by yourself, you can be starving, until a time that you can't do that no more. Then you decide to hire a coach, or that was my case. Or, let's say you, a call coming, but let's say you have, I'm sorry, I lost my thought here. I received a call. But bottom line that I'm trying to say is, if you join a team, then your percentage will not be the same as Highline. Because when you join a team at Highline, Highline is so fair to you that, you won't be receiving, from your cut, um, I don't know how to mention this, but it's like a deduction, because you're being trained by somebody else, which is really fair. But in big brokerages, you cannot get that, type of result, unless you know already that team leader, which is, I don't know. So in Highline Residential, you have not only a great resource, because you have qualified leads, that would depend only on you and how you close them, how you talk to them, which verbiage are you using, which wording, and then after a couple of times, you are refining yourself, polishing how you talk to people, then you close a lot of deals. And it depends. You can be a great sales broker and a great rental broker and a great buyer broker. Guess what? You have a lot of rental leads at Highline and buyer leads too. Sales, I would say sales is a bit trickier. I got how to generate my own leads after I had my mentor coaching that I loved. But I would say, those are the things that most realtors, they really need to check at the beginning when they are just joining, a brokerage. Also, read very well your contract, because if you decide to leave afterwards, guess what? Those fine lines, those little things are really important. So read it through. Do not think, oh, this is the previous contract, I have nothing to say. No, you have your rights and you need to negotiate at the beginning. So do not, wait on that. Do not, if you have any doubt, ask somebody else that is more experienced than you. You can always, get in touch with somebody, say, hi, I saw you online. I really admire your work. How do you do this? How do you do that? And request, for advice. Everybody in this industry, is not an easy industry. A lot of people, they do not help. A lot of people, they do not waste their time investing time, giving advice for free. But let's say you want an advice, either, if you see a realtor, then pay a coffee for that person and say, hey, what would be your advice on this? What should I do on this case, on this, situation, and go from there. Well, that was my I would say 12 minutes that I had to say about real estate industry here in New York, which is also another animal, because everywhere else, people are easier. You can really develop a conversation via cold call. Here, forget about it. If you don't use a great and powerful pattern interrupt, they hang up on you very easy and they don't care. So that's reality. So easier you get to that through that rejection, and knowing that a lot of no's, you are easier to get the yes you want and you need. So get through the no's faster. Just do what you need to do. Go to the step by step. Next step, next, improve, 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 learn, until there is nothing else left but your success. And then you can build your own team afterwards and become successful. But don't come to this industry thinking it's easy, because it's not. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. And if I knew how hard it was, I would never do it again. So that's my piece of advice for whoever, saw my presentation on, I just did in a real estate class. So that's like briefly, what you should look in a brokerage to join. And I would say commission wise, when you join a team at Highline, Residential is the most fair one. Besides, you are fed by real leads, and then your team leader can really guide you to get more results out of your time quickly. You see my English? And the other thing is, if you join a team that they also, you know, um, have listings for sale, even better, because then you can develop that side of the business. And buyers also, they're completely different words. Don't, when you start, everybody says, oh, I'm doing everything. There is not such a thing. Those are for losers. I started, to be honest, in sales, and then it's different stages. So you list something, then you learn how to get a listing, then you get like the sellers with you, then you learn how to keep a listing, and then is another point is to sell a listing, which is completely different stage, is completely different skill. And then like past clients referral, that is another thing that you need to follow up and keep them happy. Buyers, another word, because then you need to be a great people person in order to get that realtor to really tell you the truth, and so you can advocate on behalf of your buyer. And the rental, agent, you need to be very straight to the point, fair, and work on your client needs. And so different skills for a different time. And if you don't have a great leader, You won't learn a lot and you would just waste your time, which we used to say time is money, but time is even more than that, because when you are dying, you cannot buy time anymore. There is no money that can buy your time back. So certain skills you can develop. By the way, that book, Buy Back Your Time from Dan Martell, is one of a kind. You gotta read. And if you are in the industry, I would say The Confidence Gap also, helps about certain skills that you need to develop in order to not waste your time and to go, from unconsciousness, why you can't really do such a thing, to really make that happen, and fast, because faster you act, faster the results will come. So that was my take. Thank you for being here, and I hope I helped. If you have any comment, leave that below, or any questions, you can send it to me too. Have a great one, people.